Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel, and in this one we have the Enigma ZED. On his fresh new skin, that kind of makes him look a bit like Fiddle when he kind of stands around and goes back to base, but you know what? Sometimes we have to reuse particles. Now, obviously we're going to be testing out the First Strike rune set once more. Canyon is our player for this one because Canyon is spamming an unnatural amount of games getting ready for Season 12 in 2022 professional play. As we have here a flash committed by the Lux on the bottom lane, but it's pretty much a salmon level play. And now we have ZED Canyon seeing this. And Canyon is one of the best at high level thought processes in terms of actually recognizing what enemy junglers are doing and then translating that into his own advantages by denial and of course to infuse himself. Now why is ZED still though so popular in high elo? Rune sets will pop up on your screen now. Because Talon's clear was nerfed, that whole kind of hybrid, listen, I'm an assassin, I can't really get ahead through, say, for whatever reasons, but I can still farm, sequence, and be opportunistic and end up ahead of everyone else. ZED does that magnificently, and in high elo, you're not as reliant on high variance ganks, right? You're not as reliant on high variance ganks. Okay, so we go to the Prestige Malphite skin here against a Korean J, so that's always fun. And now ZED, Canyon knows her, listen, I wasn't able to go and steal the red side jungle. I know Lily's taking my red side. Let's see how he responds. You have a few options available to you, but obviously when you don't have prior, when you don't have vision, just walking blind here to take this is not always good. Now, what ZED and Canyon's level of spam in terms of ZED, insane. Absolutely insane. He loves playing the champion. He's really pushing it. Now, whether that's just to hide more conventional picks or because, you know what, the dude just simply enjoys the playstyle, you know, remains to be seen. This is absolutely standard by Nidalee, by the way, and this is why you don't do what I said you could do and what we used to do. Nowadays, if you get this late invade, you do red raptors, obviously, because must snack those. You cut across mid lane and you just protect, and now you can come down here and stop any vertical jungling. So if you find yourself in this situation, specifically as a full clearing jungler against a more invading sort of jungler, like a Nidalee, like a Graves, like a Shaka, like a Lee Sin, like a Talon, if he wants to be, you simply have to be very restrained and don't get upset, don't get tilted. Look at Canyon. He is relaxed. He knows Nidalee's going to be on the top side. He knows that Nidalee now has to defend either a bottom lane or a bottom lane camps or decide to defend a red buff. Because she made the move to go and take the red side, Canyon knows he has time to take rugs, gank bottom lane, and it's absolutely free. Now that passive damage, okay, the Shoryuken's missed, but it's a free double kill. Look at the difference. I'm going to be covering a Canyon game for ZED in a certain video next week, I hope, on the main channel. That's a different game from this one. And he encounters also some very random stuff that tries to shut him down. Cool heads will prevail as a jungler in this situation. He 4-camped and double killed, absolutely perfect. Nidalee would maybe recognize this if there's any sort of deep vision. See this now? You see this, right? Okay, she's gonna go for it. She actually hits it. She actually hits it. That's unfortunate for our beautiful Draven. That's so sad, man. She actually forgoes doing her red just to kind of help and defend this. But now Canyon knows, she shows bottom lane. And what you can do in this situation, you click on the Nidalee when you see her, and you will see either no red buff, but if you do see a red buff, you'll see a timer, this crest, it'll be the Brambleback one for red side, on the top left of your screen, and you'll see that timer ticking away. And if she has a very short duration of time left on that red buff, you know she didn't take hers. Obviously, you can track CS as well, but if you weren't tracking CS, for example, you know that she hasn't taken hers, which means we can counter jungle it. And in this situation, we wouldn't know exactly which camp she took, right? Because the CS numbers could have gone up for any number of reasons. So checking to see when she shows bottom lane there, is the red buff expiring or is it brand fresh new? If it's brand fresh new, you know she took hers, and there's really no reason for you to even make this play. But standard stuff for ZED, standard stuff for Canyon, standard stuff for challenger players. We see the Yasuo pushing the lane. It's kind of obvious where the ZED's going to go. So he moves out to water the river. Won't do much good because this here is Canyon and he knows how to path. Now, Yasuo still has his flash. He uses it. Now, we're just waiting for a W cooldown. Nidalee does show up. Good ward there. And we're not interested in fighting any further. Because this guy, obviously, while he's low, he wouldn't really rotate. But if he's not low, pay attention to it. Now we're trapping. Now we're trapping. This is a level of pressure I love to do. Excellent. Because you've lost a lot of camps, yeah? You've lost a lot of camps to the Nidalee early. You've fixed it by stealing her red. You fixed it by ganking the bottom lane, which is excellent from an ego point of view, and also, you know, to get your laners on your side and get their laners against their jungler. But you know the mid laner is punished. You know the mid laner uses flash, is low, and has to go back to base, and you now have mid prior. If you can win the 1v1, it's worth going for. Don't overstay, as Kenyon didn't, but you're able to sneak the camp. Twisted Fate is enjoying himself a fight, a continuation of this play. Zed says, why? Now we're kind of... I don't like these plays. You guys know me. I love going fighting when we're all on the same page, but we do have to be very, very cautious. Jason's roam down, and it's the only reason why we're still going for this. That empowered Q doesn't really do anything, so that's fine. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this. Okay, hold up, wait, gaming moments. Top 10 gaming moments, that one also misses. Flashes against the wall. Oh dear. Anyway. I hate that stuff. Love the play. If Twisted Fate comes immediately because the wave's crashing, great. Otherwise, I snack the camp, I get out, and now I can sequence down. What's the most important camps for me as Zed in this situation? Boom, boom, boom. All second tier. Canyon even could in this situation have gone Gromp, Wolves, Raptors, Krugs, full sequence. And that is why Zed is loved in high elo and challenges still. Because he can go for these trades, really short burst trades, push enemy junglers away from whatever they're fighting over, but he can still farm very, very quickly. This will speed up too. This will speed up very well. We saw the, which video was it on the gameplay channel recently? Against the Zed. Obviously it was filled, it was Wonder I think, but he just farmed. Dude had like 7-8 CS per minute. I mean, it was really easy. If he can figure out how to get ganks in like Canyon, then obviously you're looking at a really good jungle package. We take this, we're not 6, unfortunately. We see here Yasuo and Twisted Fate going back and forth. At this point, if you haven't seen the Nidalee, and in your low elo games you probably haven't, you have to anticipate now where's she going to be next, what can I gank, what can I counter gank. Now, bottom lane is in an interesting position. We would love to have 6 here, and that's why I kind of like maybe doing the Gromp there. I mean, Canyon knows what he's doing way more than I would ever know. But for you guys, especially in lower elo games where there's less pressure on you actually getting to a lane for a dive, because let's be honest, you're not going to be doing this, and playing a little bit more for yourselves, with a little bit less cohesion between you and your team and, you know, good things happening, doing the full clear there will give you 6, which will make this really, really easy. So all it does is just makes it really easy on yourself, because you're not going to have a Twisted Fate doing this very often, right? But overall, it's good. You saw the Twisted Fate reveal the Nidalee, which means now we have to be mega cautious. Woo! That's why, because it's easy. Also, did she just yeet into a Vex? Always be crying. Yeah, I've seen that account a few times. Yeah, so that's a lot of investment. That's a lot of investment by the Zed, by Canyon in this bottom lane, and doesn't really care that they stole the red and Raptors, because honestly, those evades can really hamstring you if you don't actually know how to play with that pressure. From that, into a beautiful Cloud Dragon. We do not have Smite for 4 seconds. Yasuo fortunately has no flash, but he can just walk around here. That's the risk of this kind of play. Can he W in to get this? Would you? That's the question. Would you, my... I mean, it happens to the best of us. It happens to the best of us. Maybe... You see what I'm saying from the logic point of view here? You push this, you just go doof, 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 doof. Tower dive this with ult, really, really easy. You're full HP, you can crash this wave. Now you can actually maybe go into this because you're stronger. Twisted Fate can use his ult to maybe help you here instead of here. And you can fall back to the dragon a little safer. I think for a non-challenge game where there's not going to be a Nidalee that's competent, that's definitely good. Or mid laner that's competent in this situation, that's a better play for you. Other than that, unfortunate for... for Canyon, 5-5, 16-16 apiece, basically 16.2 for the blue team. Now we know that the Wolf camp is the highest tier camp we have on the map, along with the Krugs and the Raptors, so we ignore the Grump for now. What is this, the new Canyon ignore Grump strategy? I don't like it. I don't like it. The Frog deserves our attention, but at the same time, as I said, Wolves were the highest camp we had. Blue is available, which we need, and we can go straight to the Herald, knowing that Nidalee, if she hits plants or shows bottom lane in any capacity, will be sequencing upside, and if she isn't sequencing upside, she'll be on the bottom side. Reactive tracking. I was just talking about this with someone in the comments on the YouTube video, because basically, sorry to do this very, very quickly. If you see the Nidalee here, right, diving bot lane, but you don't expect it to be, and you know all the red side camps are up, well, you can take this, and you can take all of this, right? It's if they're not where they should be, punish them for that mistake. But if she's down on the blue side and she's sequencing up, you want to get this before she arrives. So that's just Canyon seeing these things in real time, which is why it's magnificent. I mean, it's easy enough for a coach and an analyst like me to sort of track these things and understand them. It's not that they have the mechanical talent, and I say that as a Malphite shows up, to do that at the same time. That was nifty. That's the fun thing about Zed. You never, when you're against the Zed, you're like, all right, just gotta track the shadows. Just gotta track the shadows. And then, you don't track the shadows. So we see the Nidalee going on down, which means we know she's gonna take this, but we have Herald. Malphite's forced to ult to escape, which is always exactly what we want to do. And now we want to be spam pinging the bottom lane. Ping it. There it is. There it is. You see it on the minimap? This is it. If this ever happens to you, where you take the Herald and the enemy jungler goes down bottom side, and you see her actually taking your Raptor camp, the bottom lane should see this. You ping it. If they listen to you, you save lives. If they don't listen to you, well, they're gonna die anyway. So there's no harm in pinging, yeah? Here we go. And now, of course, we can do this top side. So we're obviously doing a little bit of both. That was very nice. Well, Twisted Fate has chosen to join his bottom lane in death. Okay, stopwatch gaming. Never mind. Well, I can tell you one thing. Please, someone, one person die. I feel... No, it's Christmas. I'm giving you the gift of laughter in this one. I know a lot of you right now feeling the pain of Canyon. You're like, wow, how unlucky are my team, but at the same time, how well played was it from the enemy? That was really well played. It was beautiful, actually. Stopwatch gaming didn't even stop it. Now, from Canyon's point of view, you can't TP to join them like Yace did, which means we use a Herald, we snack all the plates, we push another wave, we steal the Krugs, and we leave. And I just did a D1 Messenger coaching on the Patreon, where Kindred did this pretty much similar play. The enemy jungler did this dive bottom lane, killed the bottom lane. The Kindred takes this, pushes it, right? Takes the Krug camp, but instead of leaving to fall back to blue side so you can reset, spend your cash money, now focus bottom side and get more plates, they stayed to push a tier 2, but the whole bottom lane and the jungler had reset, respawned, and just collapsed and killed them. So now you lost your advantage. And Canyon's doing exactly what I said I recommended in that video, which is great to see as well. It's nice to see an example from a challenger player doing those things, because you don't always get one-to-one scenarios, you know? Nidalee again applying pressure, trying to push him up, saying, listen, I need the lead. And Canyon here is down 13 CS. He is playing a little bit from behind, and what did I say at the beginning of the video? Sometimes you will be behind as an assassin. Sometimes you won't have the game control that you really, really desire and you feel like you deserve. But we're Zed, so you can still kill people in the blink of an eye. Your itemization is efficient, cheap, and overpowered. First strike gives you more cash monies. It helps you scale a little bit more. Yeah, you like the lot of HQ damage. Doesn't really matter whatsoever, because we'll get that back in gold. And then, of course, you've got the Eclipse Ghostblade itemization choice, which is a go-to. This is a go-to standard assassin page, really, and build. And the fact of the matter is, as long as you can stay, look, you're 4-1-1, she's 4-1-1. She got a Drake. Unfortunately, actually, she didn't. No team did, because we misplayed it a little bit. I feel everyone makes mistakes, even Canyon of the Dragons when Yasuo shows up. But the point is, we're 1-to-1 on objectives, we have the same KDA, and we are down heavily on farm, but I don't feel like that's a deal breaker. Both level 9, Nidalee will be much closer to level 9, but what we want to do is be very close to this bottom lane plane. We have so much gold here. This is a posturing in high elo. This kind of waiting, are they going to fight? Are they going to fight? Is someone going to show up? I kind of need to be here if they do, because if they don't, we lose the game. In your games, you 100% had time to just give this up, go back to base. I understand he's probably at this point thinking, you know, like, can I stay out until I have enough for Eclipse someone by? You're unlikely to reach that point, and I feel like if you do that, you're going to be staying out way too long. Way too long. In this case, obviously, with Futures Market, you can, but now you have to give up Dragon. So if you can take this and maybe get away with these and reset, that's great. But if you're getting pushed in against, but you really, really want this, it's okay not to have Eclipse for that fight. I don't feel like this isn't, it's a huge item spike, don't get me wrong. But if you don't exactly have the right amount of gold to go and spend it, I forgot he had Futures Market, obviously. Still gotta shift my brain into Season 12 mode sometimes with these runes. go back, get all the components you can do, and then make sure you can contest and fight this dragon, because you have, most of the time in that situation, you will have a big lead. With that, I mean, look at this. 6-7, right? 5-9. He's way up because of the plates on the top side. That's something you got to factor in as well. His top lane is actually far ahead, even though he's 0-1. He's at 1k ahead. And even though your laners are not really going to be doing anything this game, you just want to make sure that you, as someone with as the person with the most gold in the game, have spent all that gold, which means no one can match you in terms of items, which means even if you haven't finished Eclipse, you can still win that fight on the dragon. Now, Eclipse being done, what in the living hell loves watching ZED sometimes. I like watching ZED when he's not on my team. Actually, I might play this. It looks fun, and honestly, I know it is fun. You get to I do like that you get to do those things. Do you know what I mean? Like, those kinds of plays are just funny. I can imagine being in a Flex 5's group, you know, drinking some whiskey on Saturday night, and you're just eating in for these plays. But in solo, if you just want to climb with it, you can really limit test the champion. And I feel like Canyon's really doing that lately. Really, he pushes the boundaries of champion. He just tries to make plays sometimes, and he knows how to get out, obviously. But yeah, be a little bit cautious with that, and if you're not Canyon. But if you have all the camps cleared and they give the dragon up, oh, they take the dragon, you give the dragon up into their jungle, put pressure on, because now you can easily assassinate everyone, and that's a key. TP, activation technique. Jace, pulling away. It is the Malphite. We see another person is showing up here. I don't know if we can hold this. Let's have a look here. I mean, if Nidalee hits it, it's a free death. Zed does his best to rotate just in case something happens, but there's really nothing you can do. That's worth it for the TP. 5-1-3 with Eclipse Ghostblade. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Alright, so the Herald is probably going as well, isn't it? I mean, look at this. Eldritch. Why is it, like, I still don't know why there's Eldritch in this. Does anyone know? I don't know. He's having to give up a lot. This is actually much more interesting than I thought, because I didn't watch the game, and I looked for damage KDAs, and I kind of just wanted high kill participation with laners that exactly weren't doing their job. I didn't realize that this is a great game example of how you need to play when not only your team is a bit, you know, come see, come saw, but average, but at the same time you're being pushed off of objectives because their team are just making the picks, the TPs, and the plays necessary to secure them. And I honestly think Canyon missed a few beats in terms of that early experience optimization and securing the dragon, but obviously everything else is perfect. He does a great job of reading the map, of seeing where he can make picks. They're going to be pushing Herald topside here, and sometimes you might feel very compelled to go back to base. And I think it's true you should, but as long as you can get back to hold, you're fine. You can still take camps and push waves. Now, an early inhib here, if you're a team that scales significantly more than the enemy team, as we said on the last coaching, can be very, very useful for you. And in Korea, you see here, they're backing off. They're backing off because if they stay for the Herald, the inhib, not only do they shoot supers at your face, they also will overstay and die. And even now, because it's a Twisted Fate, they probably have overstayed. And that's something they have to be very cautious about. Zed uses W to gap the close, and Nidalee uses the flash to extend that once more. Yasuo shows up and gets feared by the anti-fear champion, even though Poppy was the original, anti-mobility champion, even though Poppy was the original anti-mobility champion. And now we're committing a chase down. So it's a good thing they didn't take the inhibitor, because now, if they all died, get to push this out, get to take this, get to push this, get to push this, get to push this. Man, the blue team would be looking at an even bigger lead than they already have, significantly so. But this right here, you see this little section? They all went top side because of the Jace dying to use the Herald. Canyon says, right, let's make a big bottom side because we can, because no one's going to be there. Let's take the camps. Let's grab a tower that we can, and let's make sure we don't let them take our inhib, and if they overstay, we chase them down, which he did. And that little event timeline gave them the gold lead that they now have. Now, Dragon is spawning. First one, probably a little bit overzealous, especially in Korea. I mean, usually for Korea, right, we don't see them die on those early dragons. It's really just not something that they do. Secondly, the second dragon, I feel like if you have enough gold with Futures Market to get Eclipse, do so, go back to base. Even if you don't, go back to base, reset, and try and secure it. You are the one that's fed. And for the third one, well, there's two schools of thought, isn't there? Give him all the dragons and then just take the Elder because you scale anyway, and who cares about the soul? I don't recommend that for the mental fortitude of your teams in the 99% play base. Because I'm pretty sure they're yelling jungle gap, aren't they? Zed goes back to base. Unfortunately, not a Hex Tech one, but doesn't matter. We can still arrive, but it won't really matter if we don't have vision and position, which we don't because we have to go back to base. But we do have a Cyrilda's Grudge. Okay, 50-50 gaming. Malphite, good job. Excellent, 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 excellent. Good job, red team. Why? Because I just released on my main channel about an hour ago 10 things that only junglers know about League of Legends. And one of them is burst damage, under monsters, and how to zone. That, what you just saw, does not happen very often. In fact, even in the very video I just released, Canyon himself on Graves stole a Baron because no one body blocked and the Talon on the enemy team did not want a 50-50 yet. Literally. It's in the video. So the fact that this now happens to Canyon, similar play, except this time they body block, they pull it out, they engage and pull the trigger, they make sure he dies, they stop attacking the Baron, the Dragon. Very well done by red team to avoid the steal. Considering Canyon was just on the other side of that, where the enemy team didn't do it and he got the steal, I feel like that's nice synergy. Unfortunately, I didn't see this replay when I was making that. Shit happens. Good thing though, team pushed towers, now to bottom lane, which is absolutely fine for us, because basically, again, look at the gold, 10,000 cash monies, 900 ahead of the Jinx. Unfortunately for Jinx, he's Zed. So, you have 20,000. I don't think he cares that much. The farming is not as prolific as it would have been in a normal game because obviously it was a bit of a bend but not break. And I think that's a great way of looking at it. With Zed, why they love him so much and why Canyon loves him so much is not only do you have gap close and instant burst damage that comes on very quickly, you have the OP build set, the OP rune set, and you basically remove people from the game in the later stages. It's also that when you need to bend but not break as a jungler, when things are not going perfectly, you can. And that is just fun. Woo! Sidestep. It's the W, it's the shadow play. It's hitting your triple Qs and dodging spells with a W and being switchy. And I think people absolutely love when you can play mind games with enemy champions and enemy champions with mobility and CC. And when you're able to make mechanical outplays while doing damage, while scaling, and while snowballing, and while assassinating, you got a pretty good package. And even though his win rate isn't that great, and why I don't really recommend it for most players, because again, a lot of you are going to watch this and say, whoa, that looks fun. That skin looks sick. This looks good. I can do that. Be honest with yourself. Are you a good assassin player? Do you know how to annihilate a target and reposition such that you can kill another one? Or do you just kill someone and then die? Because if you're doing that, then you're useless. You're just useless. Right. We have a lead, but it hasn't felt like we've had a lead, right? The game has not felt like that lead means much, purely because it's all in Zed and Jace, basically, in terms of gold income. We do force a TP, we don't have the Vex, which means we don't really want to fight that. So that's a good zone poke. It's not something you want to go in on. If you're an assassin player in a low elo game and you went in on that and died, and now you're flaming the Vex for not being with you, it's your fault. You shouldn't have gone in. Bit of discipline is required. We're going to posture now because the next thing is Baron. So we're looking for a prior target annihilation. Jinx has all summoners, excuse me, throat, all summoners available. Nidalee is attempting for... I just said don't do that. It's a Vex. I just said don't do that. This challenger, guys, come on. I'd still like you. If they do it in a pro game, it's a little bit more annoying. In that it's absolutely horrific. Like, why would you do that? Okay, stunned, killed. We'll get back to it. Vex flashes. We got Zed on the top side here. There we go. Make sure to ult the Jinx. Isn't able to actually do that much because he has to get out, which is unfortunate, but Jace is able to finish it off. Everything about that was absolutely well played by Canyon. So I'm going to rewind. I don't normally do this in the gameplays anymore because I like to be fluid. I apologize if you're not interested in this, but the Nidalee should not have done what she did. They all engage and use 2 ultimates, 3 ultimates on a Draven and a Vex who really do not matter whatsoever. We have Zed floating on the top side, waiting for fears, waiting for damage. He doesn't use his ult on anything other than the Jinx. He makes sure to avoid other spells by getting out. He probably could have done a bit more damage. He is able to do enough damage to her while repositioning using his shadows, and Jace is able to finish up on Jinx. It's beautiful. You can 2v8 any game with the right team fighting if the enemy team just absolutely blow their load on the wrong champion. Nidalee did it, Yasuo did it, Lux did it, and the Rock did it. And you have to capitalize on that. You have to capitalize on it. And if you don't, that's on you. That is 100% on you. Now, in this case, obviously, Lux can do the ulti, but she went way too soon. And now we're going through the... Well, as I said, he likes to limit test it. So... Well, I kind of wanted the dragon, just so they don't. But at the same time, if they get it, we get Elder, and we're way ahead, so... It is what it is, but, you know, I'll let Canyon... He can do it, right? We're all okay with it. We all understand that we should not be doing it. 936. And now, ladies and gentlemen, enters the phase of closing. Elder will be on the map. We do have a Baron. We need to do things ASAP. So, we turbo sprint to the bottom lane, join the other person who shows competency, annihilate the Yasuo because cringe champion. Twisted Fate ults in, hits stun. It's a Nidalee who's now basically giga useless because she wasted her lead, even with the Rocket Belt, which is of course good itemization. Now we can push this and use Baron to push this and then join our team for the 4-stack here and leave the Rock top lane. Don't really recommend doing that in the case of 2 being dead because you can fully commit to 1 lane, which is what they were trying to do, but unfortunately the wave clear was solid, so they couldn't actually get away with it. Jay should have stayed bottom lane the whole time. Now mid lane will crash a little bit. Jinx will wave clear that. We do have our ult up very, very shortly. Let's see, 20 seconds. Malphite is not face tanking. We have to watch the back. The respawn time is, excuse me. Yasuo's coming up, Nidalee's at 9, and we have gold in pocket for our team. We don't, as Zed, which means we can let our team go back to base. And what do? Steal their camps, baby. Steal their camps. Don't overstand die, though. See? Just take camps, push waves out, be very, very cautious. You have your ult available now. You know they're going to collapse on you, so the risk is a little high. You know, yeah, there you go. Just like looking like this. They're so far ahead that it really doesn't matter. That's why people hate Zed, man. And that's why people in Challenger love Zed, especially from jungle. Because this is great. This suction. Hey, look, I stole your red. Follow me, follow me, follow me. The TP comes through. You just turn the fight because you can as a duo. That's it. Well played, nice damage. Jace's damage is really huge at this stage. So we don't mind giving him kills. That was well played. And the reason, ultimately, whatever happens afterwards, the decision is sound. My team needs to reset. I don't have to. I only have 200 gold. Could you? Sure. If you have HP, you have lifesteal, then you don't need to. Counter jungle, and just don't die. That's the rule. If you can turn and make a play, turn and make a play. And they always turn and make plays when I don't think they're going to be able to in Challenger. Because, well, they're just the best. Just don't die. That's the only rule. And if you can't pull that off and you die while doing it, now your whole team has to wait for you. And that's the whole throwing video I made, you know? If Canyon died there and Jace didn't TP or didn't have TP, now their whole team is 4 people with a little bit of Baron left, maybe, maybe not, and they just want to push up the waves and kind of wait for the next objectives, and you're dead. So the enemy team can look for a fight, and then it's a 5v4 fight. Woo! Okay, that was beautiful. That was just chef's kiss. That was nice. It's exactly what you're looking for. Play off of the win condition you have on your team. Nice sidestep. The win condition on your team is very clearly you and the Jace, right? The Jace is the damage. You kind of set it up a little bit for him. Make sure you make those plays. That was very well done. Feeding off each other. I don't actually know because all the question marks might be his you top laner. Who knows? But you can see what I mean, right? You can see what I mean. Excellent game in terms of this game had a little bit of everything. I'm really glad I chose this one. Not a total domination Giga 20 carry snowball fiesta. Was literally behind until 15 minutes, made good macro plays to stop the bleeding, bend, don't break, got fed, did int a few times and made a few funny plays, made some mechanical god plays. Ah, wait. That's what we want, right? Hold up. Hold up, excuse me. Excuse me, this is what you wanted to see at the end, because everyone wants to, I always ask this question. We got an extra 1,300 gold and only 1,200 damage extra, so that's significantly less than anything you would get from Electrocute. It's significantly less than a lot of runes that would give you pure damage on damaged champions. But that 1,200 gold, the 1,300 gold, in terms of an AP champion, that's a needlessly large rod, you know? It's a BF sword. That's a lot of damage that you can bring forth, and it gives him 3 completed items. He didn't finish boots because he doesn't really need it. Huge. Absolutely huge. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you're able to enjoy and learn something. Please do leave a like, comment, share, and all those good things. I'll try and do another one tomorrow, Christmas Eve, just for you. And go check out the video on the main channel as well. Thank you very much, and as always, I will see you all in the next tutorial.